Hi, this is Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is a futures trading video, or really just gold or opening range, whatever you want to call it. I just want to go through the trade I put on yesterday. And this is our Discord group, and I was putting it out there, you know, to be careful on the New York Gold Pit Open because there was data just after that. And then obviously I traded this just with micros though because of that big confluence of data and pit opens. And this is my first chart here. I'm going to go through it on the actual chart as well. I just wanted to show you how sort of engaged we are in the Discord group for trading this. So we went through the data range, opening range, and then obviously updated there, and then finally hit the target at the 50 ticks and took the profit there. So very good, great trade, opening range trade. I'm going to go through the setup right now. Just wanted to show you, and then we traded the opening range for MES and MNQ as well. So great looking trades there. And then we've got lots of people in our Discord group looking at different types of trades using all of our different indicators. So great day yesterday, and I want to go through in particular this opening range trade because I want to go through a few points. So one of the major things for me first, this is my chart layout for trading that gold opening range. So I've got 15-minute down on the bottom here. We don't trade on the 15-minute, but what I do is use it to find some major support and resistance zones, and this was that yesterday where we could look at the previous day's pivot, high and low, and that gives us some really great support and resistance. And then so trading this on the 5-minute is where we look for, and this was the opening range. So these are these same support and resistance zones as you can see here. These are ones that are going to affect us. So the first thing is that we get that gold pit opening range, and we look to trade that normally if we don't get data coming out 10 minutes later. Okay. It was a large range, so the indicator actually identifies it as it labels it in red, so not green, not yellow. It labels it in red, so you're only looking for the short. But it was quite a large range. This high is at 83.8. The low is around 79.7. So that's that's 40 ticks. It's a big trade. It's a big opening range. Now, it's not to say it's not a great trade, but if once you get over sort of 20-25 ticks, you've got to consider going down to the micro. So that was one of the first decisions that we have to make in this situation, is that is this a big boy trade, and am I prepared to risk $400 odd on this trade for one contract of gold? Or in my case, I went 3 contracts micro to be sensible, because a lot of the things we do in the Discord group is for me using these indicators, showing them the work, but actually trying to be sensible and recognize that not everybody can put these big boy trades on full contracts. So micros are the way to go in this situation on that day. The only issue is for me is we had the opening range into this first support zone. So normally if we didn't have data, we'd be going short just underneath the support zone, and that would be the entry strategy. But then we had the data at half past the hour, and for me I need to wait for that. I need to understand, and that's the range I want to trade. So I made 50 ticks, okay, which is still good. We had the opening range for data, so that allows me then to have my stop above that opening range for data there, and my entry was just below. That allows them also then for me to work out what's my risk to reward to the next support zone. Okay, so I use my trend based fib extension, put it on the stop, the entry, and there we have our risk to reward. So 1777.10 entry, or 1777 flat, would give us around about 1 to 1.5 into the middle of that support zone. So there's a decent risk to reward there, with putting your stop just above here, entry here. Again, we've used that data with the xBrat range breakout. We can change those things. We can change those labels. We could change it to the actual name of the data point if we want. There's some standard ones that come for the New York gold, the London gold, and all that sort of thing. But we've got ones where we can change. We can change the time. So if there's data coming out at 8:45 or 9:45 EST, we can change all of that. And what it just does then is actually identifies the bias. So the bias is bearish. It's red. The range is printed in red. We're only looking for the short, and that's the short I took. It's on the 5-minute time frame, so that allows us then to trade all the way down into this zone. I mean, I took my profit right at the top of that zone, so took 54 ticks in the end, which is not bad on gold. 3 contracts on the micro. It did dip down a little further and then come back up to test that range again, and then bounce back down back into that support again. So you've got to understand this behavior is quite common. Unless we get a real big runner, this will come back and test that opening range, bounce back down to the support again, comes to test it again, bounces back down to support, and then we go range bound overnight, and then we come into the European morning this morning, and we're pretty much range bound really. Again, we got to look at that lows from yesterday if we're going to go into today's opening range for Europe. We've got to put those lows in, and we just get quite a lot of those pivot lows and push that in there. So we can see this pivot here forms the low of our zone, and then we're collecting a couple more pivots here to give us the top of that zone. So when we go into gold pit open for Europe today, although we are printing red, so the bias is bearish with no risk to reward. That's where the support is, and that's where we don't take that short trade. We can't trade at every single opening range, but as the range continues to go forward, we turn yellow. Yellow means you could go either way. We're not going to go long, we're not going to go short because of that support. But what have we had overnight? Have we got overnight supports or resistances that are going to affect us? And of course we have. We've got Asian overnight highs here, and we've got these sort of these highs here as well. So have we got enough risk to reward with the stop being under there for our entry to be there today? It's not bad, not a bad little trade, and you could take that, but again, you need fresh air. That's a 1-to-1. That for me is not good enough. But if it breaks through this resistance level and we then go to a smaller time frame, and we can see here on our 1 minute, for example, we got a 6-star buy with the xBrat algo. This is not bad. Let's open this chart up. Got this 6-star buy on this candle here. That's our signal candle. So our entry for here would be just above that candle. Our stop would be just below the signal candle in this case. And then let's put our risk to reward on to the next resistance zone, 1 to 1.6. That's what I call fresh air. That's a good one. We've tried to push through this resistance zone, it's failed. We've got to pivot. We can go long above that signal candle, that 6-star buy, and our stop is just below there. To be honest, once we start getting closes and we get into this trade, if it does push up through, we could make this risk-free or reduce our stop to just underneath this support and resistance zone here. So lots of options there using the xBrat range breakout. But then when we are going rangy and we haven't got enough risk to reward with this particular strategy right now, let's just keep an eye on the behavior. Do we get a signal with an xBrat algo? Absolutely we do. That's a signal. The entry is above the signal candle. Let's just be patient and wait and see if it breaks up. So hopefully that helps. One of the main things I wanted to really get across here is I'm gonna put the Discord link in the description, because there's lots of other users of our indicators in the Discord group, and we're sharing ideas, hints, tips for trading those markets, whether it's futures, crypto. People trade crypto in there, stocks, lots of different types of instruments, and it's great community for traders to learn and to trade. And the other thing I wanted to get across, the important thing, we go back to yesterday, is really understanding that economic calendar. Just because we've got a great signal for this gold pit opening range, wait for the data to come out, because that could turn it around. You don't want to get in that trade too early. In this case, it was a continuation, but we had the data opening range, so we could then trade gold to the short side. Okay, hopefully that helps. I'll speak to you all really soon.